You caught me drinking my coffee. Good morning, everybody. It's Kate Richburg. Sorry, I'm a little tardy. I was honestly running around pulling this project together. Look, you can see all of my stuff here that I've pulled together. And you know what? I meant to start off by showing you that patch I finished, but it's over next to Laura, who is making the patch kits as we speak. And I bet she's bringing it over to me right now. She caught the hint. Thank you, my friend. I super appreciate. All right. How is everybody doing? We are live. Today, it's the end of January. It's January 29th, 2025. January's been the longest year I've ever known. I don't know about you, but I am ready for February. Let's see what February has in store for us, right? Emily is here and is moderating for Janice. Janice had an appointment this morning that she couldn't miss. So she was actually going to originally come on with me today. But she may pop on later just to say hello to everybody. But it was an appointment she couldn't miss. And of course, you know, that's what happens. So, but we've got our Emily here, which is amazing. I love that everybody, thank you so much, Liza, for joining us with our class last Saturday. You know what? It was so fun. And I realized I was kind of looking back on the broadcast. And my mom was here. We had such a great time. Holly, we have all of your orders stacked up right here. I've got your journal. Now that the Frida kit is ready, that is going to go out to you today. But the journal was so fun, giving that journal giveaway and all of that. And I went back and I looked at the broadcast. We were stitching together for 3 hours. It went by really quickly, didn't it? I was like, I can't believe I broadcast for 3 hours. What was I doing? So we're going to do more of those, I promise you. We're already thinking about different artists to kind of play around with. And I've got some other things. My buddy Laura here from the Fiber Arts Guild, President of Fiber Arts Guild, is here helping us out today. And her artistic vision is so amazing. So she's helping me visualize. All the Frida packets are coming and they're just really gorgeous. But my friends, I was ruffling, is it ruffling or rifling? Rifling, thank you, through, wearing ruffles, rifling through. And I think I've come up with a cool project for Cinco de Mayo. It involves, Emily may remember this. I don't know, Emily, if you were with us on that trip or not. It was a trip that I went with our buddy Jessica when we were doing some designs down there with our Smiths in Tosco. And there's really big, wonderful markets in Mexico City. And I bought some of that very traditional Mexican, I don't know if it's called oilcloth. Is it called oilcloth?
Yes.
Yes. So gorgeous. I've had it for a while. And I think I'm going to do a project. If you liked the sewing, I think I'm going to do a project with it and do some more kits for you. So anyway, so that's coming up. Tina, my mom will make some more journals. She's talking about making some so we can sell them to you directly here on the website. It was a lot of fun. We'll do another giveaway. I'm thinking about another stitch in, and we may, one of my mom's favorite artists is Alexandra Calder. So we may do an homage to Calder. One of my favorite artists is Edward Hopper. And I know you're thinking, Hopper, how does that have to do with jewelry? But my favorite Hopper painting of all time, and it hangs in the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. So stay tuned for that. The wheels are turning. The wheels are turning. My mom is making journals as we speak. It's great. So it's fantastic to have all of you dear friends here with us today. I'm going to jump in and I want to show you the finished patch that I've got. Thank you for your love on these earrings. These earrings, you know, I need to revisit these again. These are with Super Duos, and it's when we got the Super Duo symbols in, and I was just riffing off of working with the Super Duos, and these are the earrings that resulted from them. So they were really fun to make. But maybe I'll revisit that. It goes in this ear. And I love wearing them. They're super light. They kind of have a good visual impact with them and stuff. So those were fun. Let's see. I'm looking here just to see there's some great chat going on. You guys are great. And I love you folks putting in who your favorite artists are. I love it. I want to hear more. I want to hear more about that. Flower Pound is asking my mom, do you quill also? So, I don't know. We have quilled. Quilling is not in our everyday crafting skill set, but maybe someday my mom and I will tell you the story about the Lampshade Guild. And it started here in Fresno. Laura, were you ever a member of the Lampshade Guild?
No, my friend was.
Yeah, see? Laura's friend. And I'm not kidding you. Lampshade Guild here in Fresno. I'm telling you. You'll have to wait for that story. All right. Let me add this. Let me show you what's going on here. So here is the finished patch. And I'll be honest, Miranda, will you look up and see if we have any of the patch kits left? They may be gone. I have no idea, to be honest. There may be a few left, but it was really fun to make it. I wanted to show you that I did finish. I did some stitching. And before we get to the prairie, because there's 10 left. All right, we've got 10 of these beauties left. So what I did was I did take this to my sewing machine when we were done with everything. And you can kind of see the stitching. I put my sewing machine on a really wide stitch. I think I did a long stitch. I think it was about a 5 millimeter. And I just kind of followed the track here. I did little crosses here, little X's on, I just did this one down on this flower, and I did across that one there. So I stitched it down. Then I did some more embellishment with that special little Frida vial of 11 knots. I embellished the butterfly up here, and then I finished down here with this, right? And then I added a few. You folks bought us out of the roses and of the skulls. I got a few more in. So those are in stock right now. And I found some tiny, tiny ones in my stash. And I'm going to add those tiny, tiny ones in as well. We're going to revisit those. I love it that you love those Dia de los Muertos skulls as much as I do. I should be wearing those earrings because I put them on hoops. I'll wear them on Friday. I put the big one on a small hoop and the small one on a big hoop, and I love it. Anyway, so I finished this up. What I did was, and you remember I signed it on the back. What I did was I actually flipped it over because I wanted to use my Kate Richburg, what I'd use on my purses and stuff. So I put that on the back. And I tested out, one of our vendors sent us a brand new fabric glue that I love. And so we're going to be adding that as well. And I use the fabric glue to actually glue this to the background. I need to just touch it up a little bit here with a little more of that fabric glue, but it's there, right? So here it is. So it's done. I love her. And I'm going to put her back on my denim jacket right here. I miss my quilt, having my quilt hanging up. I know you folks kind of loved it as much as I loved showing it to you. I've got a smaller quilt that I made. The Fiber Arts Guild, we had a really fun class with a quilting teacher named Dora Carey. She has a quilt store over in in Paso Robles. We did a fantastic quilt with her, and I just got mine back from the quilter, and it would be perfect right on this wall. So maybe I'll hang it. It would just be fun. It's fun and colorful. So maybe I'll get to that in all of my spare time. And Cindy, I love it. I love that you're coming around to the skulls after my video. They're kind of fun. I know that they're not for everybody, but you could use that same idea, right? Embellishing. You could use a bead underneath and put the roses and stuff on top. So there's a lot of, I think, interesting stuff you could do with that same one. I love Ellen is here. Ellen is saying that how much she loves Rothko. She is an abstract expressionist at heart. It is true. I am a big Rothko fan as well. There's a beautiful Rothko that also hangs in the SF MoMA. If you're in San Francisco, the SF MoMA, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, is a must not miss museum, and their Rothko is actually fantastic, and it's on the first floor there, near their Frida Kahlo, near their Klimt. They've got some, not Klimt, Klee, Paul Klee. There's a lot of fun stuff there right on that first floor. It's the abstract expressionism actually wing. It's the very first floor. Anyway, only because that's one of my favorite museums of San Francisco. Okay, enough chitty chat. I could chitty chat with you all day, but let's get to this project. New stuff that we just launched yesterday, and I want to talk about the Prairie projects. Okay. Oh, I love it. I love it. Ellen says she pays homage to that Rothko every time I'm in San Francisco. It's a beautiful one, for sure. For sure. I love it. Love it. Love it. So let's take a look. Let me go here and let me do this. Okay. I did work at the SF MoMA for a short time, right before I came back to Beadshop in 2016. I worked in customer experience at SF MoMA, and it was an amazing experience for me. It was when they had their reopening from their expansion, and I learned so much. It was a really amazing experience that I am so lucky to have had. Who knew that museum studies were a thing? But had I known that museum studies were a thing, I probably wouldn't be teaching you right now. I'd be in the back of some museum tenderly moving art around. Okay, so we got a bunch of fresh strap leather, the 5mm strap leather. Okay, and we got some of the stitched leather, which we'll look at first. We got the stitched. I hope I grabbed all of the colors. Are these all of the colors that we got? We should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, these are the fresh colors. We got the natural. We got, this one's called Putty. It's kind of a light gray. This one is the gray, which is kind of I think that's right. Let me make sure that I'm not telling you wrong. Hang on. Let me go to new arrivals on the homepage. I don't want to lie to you. Yeah, stitched putty is this light one, and stitched gray is this one. And then this is stitched deep purple, this one here, okay? Then we've got these, what are called the Arizona leathers, because they kind of look weathered. This is the Arizona burnt orange, and this is the Arizona denim right here, okay? We also got some new sliders, which I love. Janice just slid these in under the radar. I'm like, what? She goes, I ordered new sliders. I'm all, great job, JP. So these have stones in them, and the stones are tiger's eye, lapis. This is a faux turquoise. It's like a howlite, the dyed howlite, and then this is the amethyst right here. And the cool thing about these, let me zoom in on these a little bit. They're kind of chunky monkey. They're kind of big. You haven't heard me say chunky monkey? I know. I love it. I don't know. Maybe I haven't said that in a while. I used to call Alfred Chunky Monkey when he was a little baby. He is a chunky monkey. These are about 12 millimeter, right? So they're definitely a say something slider. On the back, they look like this. So let me put this, like this purple one. Let's put it here on the stitched, okay? And let's slide this on. And see, even on the stitched, look at how cool those look, right? They slide on really nicely. If you want these to, I'm going to show you how to like adhere the sliders and stuff. We'll do that in a second. But here's this one. Here's the, we got a limited supply of these turquoise ones, and they already actually may be sold out because we knew they'd be the most popular. We have more of those on order, but we wanted to get them in and launch them so they would be up. Put yourself on the notification for these because look at this. Look at how good. Let me make sure that this is cut. See, this is cut funny. Let me just cut it across nicely. There we go. Let me get it closer to my eye vision. There we go. And look at how nice that looks on that Arizona blue if you like kind of this single color. Emily is loving this tiger's eye, which I like as well. Look at how nice it looks on that blue. But I think it also really looks nice on this orange. And of course, we've got this. If Cynthia were here, she'd tell me why this blue and this orange works so well. Complementary color? Split complementary, right? Yeah. Yeah. Look at how nice that looks, right? So we've got all of these. Okay. These guys here, these are our new sliders. We also got in a new 20 millimeter clasp. And look at how it's just gorge. I love it. And it takes 4 of these across. I'm just going to put these in. So we've got this. We've got this. Now watch what we've got here. We also have one more of the new leathers that I want to show you. We got this kind of cool, what do we call this? I'll tell you. We call this one Bold Tribal is what this one is. And so we could do, in this 20 millimeter, you could just do single strands. And you could do this one, just bear with me here. This one, let me cut this across. Need to be cut across. And I use my wire cutters for this. I feel like that's the best thing. No, do not use thread snips to cut that leather.
You'll pinch your finger off first.
Yeah, ask Miranda how she knows. And then this one here, you kind of have to, make them go in. But look at all of these. Oh, Emily's saying anything with a beaded border. Agree, Em. And look at how the beaded border of the beaded one, the tiger eye. And yeah, Alice, I know, I'm sorry, Alice, that the turquoise is sold out. We will be getting it back in. It was the most popular one, so our look at how nice it looks on here.
Turquoise or the turquoise?
No, the turquoise, this one, the turquoise slider. Look at how great it looks. The slider. So make sure to put yourself on the notification list, my friends. And you will get a notification as soon as it's back in stock. Now, I also wanted to show you, this is one that we've had for a while. Do you remember what this is called?
This really one?
This one.
Tibetan floral.
Let's see. It's thank God for Miranda. Tibetan floral. Look at what this looks like. I'm going to slide this off here.
I love those. The new sliders.
Yeah, I love, and I've got them here.
Especially the purple one.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the amethyst. I'm going to cut this off. This was from, we're going to play around with this, but this was for, I can actually just cut, but I want to slide it. Hang on, I'm just going to cut it. Sorry. That was from when we were talking about it last week. Let me get rid of that. But let me show you this. This is the Tibetan floral, and it is a 10 millimeter slider, like this, right? So this and this goes here. Oh, thanks, Tim Hilly. This is an old Navajo ring. This is the real deal. I had them sitting here from when I was with my Frida day. So let me put this one on. This is the one, I made this one. This one I made years ago. I need to make some more. I've had people wanting them. But look at how great it looks at this old tribal pawn. This is Navajo. It has the Navajo mark on the inside right here. It's just gorgeous. This is probably at least 50 years old. I love it. Love, love. This one over here, this is one of my metalsmithing students made this for me. It's a spoon handle, and she fashioned it into a ring, and I love it. You can see the interior of the spoon on the back there. I love it, love it, love it. I've left my wedding band off. I think it's sitting by my bed. So I was like, oh, I got to put a ring on that finger. So those are my fancy rings for today. Yeah, this is Sleeping Beauty Mine Turquoise. This is American Turquoise. This is also American Turquoise. I'm not sure which mine this is from, but it's just gorgeous. Gorge. So thank you for noticing. Anyway, back to the sliders. Something like this on a 20 millimeter. What you can do here is you can get 4 of the 20 millimeter straps, right? Put a 10 millimeter slider in the center so it kind of holds all of them together. Then, sorry, I don't have enough hands to hold it, but you get the idea. Let me lay this down like this. Let me do this, right? So all of those will go in here like this, right? Then you could add, we also got some new, just plain little sliders. We got these bees. The bees go like this. Look at how cute that little bee is. So fresh. And this one's the infinity. Hi, Curtis. We just mailed your package out yesterday. There's that infinity. Look at how cool that is. And so you could put like just a bunch of these on, grab that. This is that amethyst one, right? So you could get a big 10 millimeter slider. I mean, obviously they wouldn't all be bunched like this, and you might want to go with a theme, but you can see how all of these sliders look like with this, right? I think it looks great. You could also just simply use 4 strands. Like you could use this stitched with this, right? Wouldn't that look good? And just do it real plain, no sliders. And we've got other 20 millimeter clasps as well. You can break it up in the middle, or you can have both of these in the middle like that. But you can see, and it fits. I'm just going to lay it down because it's kind of hard for me to get there. But see, doesn't that look nice with the stitch? Tiger eye would look great on this one. Right? Isn't that pretty? So, so pretty. So there are a lot of fun ways you can create with these new ones. We have right now a ton of stock in the stitched. I touched on the stitched leather with Janice's surrounded piece, and I want to show you how I make that. And then I'm going to show you some samples of the Prairie project, and I want to show you what I might put together with it. I'm going to move this over just a little bit closer to me so I'm not leaning. I rearranged my space, and I don't know if it's the perfect arrangement, but whatever. I'm working on it. Where is that surrounded? These were the ones that Janice had made, right? We had them in silver, but now we have them in the brass and the copper and the silver. We've got more coming. We ordered a ton, but you folks love them so much. So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting us with those. But there's more on the way. So again, put yourself on that notification list so you get the notification that it's coming. So I'm going to use this stitched leather, and I'm using it in the gray. And it's so funny, when Janice got this gray leather in and she sent it, I was like, I already have a spool of that I was saving for a project. I don't know. Maybe they sent us some, or I don't know why I had a spool of it, but I did. Well, Janice loved it too, so she got it. So I think a super quick, fast bracelet with these to add to your stack is just using this stitched leather on the inside and doing just a single strand. It's very like Hermes. I don't know why it feels like Hermes stitched leather bracelet to me, but it does. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to scoot this back just a little bit. With this curve, with the surrounded, see how it curves to your wrist a little bit? So you want to make sure that you kind of add the curvature of this to the length of your piece. Yeah, it's very equestrian. Thanks, Em. That's probably why it feels that way, right? So I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut this leather off. Okay. And then we're going to measure it. My wrist measures 6.5 inches. So that's kind of what's going for me. Where did I put my tape measure?
I know where one is if you can.
Yeah, I was just holding it going, I can't lose this for the show.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, thank you. I said I can't lose it for the show, and what did I do?
Lose it for the show.
Lose it for the show. So let me tell you the length of all of this. Okay. This surrounded is about 1.5 inches. Okay, and it has a curve to it. I cut about a little over 7, almost 7.5 inches of this leather. And I'm going to use this 5mm, what's this one called? Plain and Simple? What's this one? Poor Miranda. She's all, I'm trying to work. No, this one, the clasp, this one. This isn't Plain and Simple.
One called Plain and Simple.
What's this?
Special delivery.
Did you hear the scorn? Did you hear the scorn in that?
Just kidding.
In that voice, I love it. Scorn. Scorn. I love it. I've been here a billion years. Miranda's been here like a day. And, well, longer than a day.
You say a day?
I said a day. You're coming up like on, it's almost been like 6 months,
Yeah,
or it's coming. We need to have an anniversary party.
Yeehaw.
We do.
If you tell me the secret of where the rest of the brown and turquoise leather is.
Oh, that's a great secret. I don't know. It could be up in the bin. Oh, and will you get me a plastic baggie too, please? Just
like a little one?
Yeah, I'm gonna glue on it. That's that one. Yeah, perfect. It might be in the back stock. I don't know. That's a,
That's my job.
yeah. This isn't the cylinder clasp. The cylinder clasp is the round one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is the flatter one. I think it's special delivery. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I want this leather in here. I swear we have something called plain and simple. I swear we do.
You might have used to.
Maybe we used to. I'm going to come in and I'm going to glue this leather down into this surrounded. And I want it to center like this. Okay. So I'm going to put it in. I'm going to get my zap. I got a fresh zap because, you know, why not? Let's live a little. I'm going to pierce the cap of the zap, but not like a ton, right? I don't like really. Oh, plain and simple is a toggle. Thank you, Emily. I knew we had something called plain and simple. It's a toggle. So that not a ton of glue comes out, right? So I pierce that just a little like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back so it's even. I'm going to add that zap. Now you could use E6000 for this too, but zap is so fast. There we go. There's a little too much there. So I'm going to just spread it out because I don't want any of this zap to show, right? So can you see how the zap is in there? Now I'm going to slide this down. I still want it to be even. And I'm going to press it in. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my clip or clamper and I'm going to clamp that on so it stays down for a second. I'm going to try not to get glue all over everything because I probably will. I was a little too crazy with the glue. But see, now I'm going to do it over here and kind of smush it in. So that slider will stay where I put it. Okay. So most of the sliders, when I add a slider to this, like let's just say this is the slider I'm going to add. But what I would do here is on the back of where I want this, you know, to sit, I'd add a drop of the zap. I'd slide this slider over to where that zap was and I'd press it into place, right? So it's just glued in place. Okay. So now this should have enough. So yeah, it's down there. It's not going anywhere. So now I want this to be on. So when I measure it around my wrist, I can make sure that I have enough room here. Now see, I want a little, you can see I took my watch off. It still has my watch thing on there. So I want it, I'm worried about that glue. Let me move it. I want this to sit not super tight so it's uncomfortable. Okay. So I think, and we would use Michelle's little toothpick trick, right? Or something like it. This isn't really a toothpick. It's a little flat thing, but this will work well enough. Let me cut this off. This just a little stir stick. I'm going to put this in one side of my piece here, my clasp, and I'm gonna just draw a little line so I know that's how much of the leather is going to go in on that side. And let me just use this to see if it's going to be the same. See, it's a little less. See that there? So maybe I'll cut this off. I want to make sure that it's cut off straight across. Put it in my clasp. Draw my line. Oh, that's the same side. Turn it over. Draw my line. There we go. See? So you can see that's that side, that's that. So it's close. But it's a little oh no, I guess that was the right side. Yeah. Okay. Let me put this down so you can see it. So that's about how much I'm going to have to leave so that the leather, there we go, so that the leather fits in. Okay, can we see that there? Right? So if I measure that with my caliper, this is about an extra 8 millimeters, or about an extra 4 millimeters per side, right? Ish. So this might be, I might have cut this correctly. This might be the right length. And what I want to do, always when I glue these clasps in, I always connect them. Now there's no glue in here yet. Okay. But I always connect them. I'm going to check and see if that looks even. Now I'm going to really carefully, if I can, take this apart. Oh, hello, Alfred. Alfred just came waddling up. I'm going to put this on. It didn't quite stay. So let me push this in. You know, the sizing, I need to get it into my field of vision. The sizing is always the part that's a little bit of a challenge, right? So you just have to take your time. So see here, this looks, it's just like a hair. See how there's room there? There's like a hair too much. So I'm going to cut away like one of the stitches on each side. Cut that away. Take this out. Cut that away. Let's try it again. Stick that in there nice and tight like it would be if it were glued. Bring it around. Let me get it out of the shot so I can kind of put this in there. Yeah, Alfie's being the big boss today. I don't know what
he's... I see something with his elf eyes.
Yeah.
He's at the end of the door.
Is he? He wants to go outside.
Yeah. He's grown.
Yeah, not right now, Alfred. Not right now. I'm trying to get this in. I can do it. I'm stubborn. Hang on. I can do it. I just have to get it closer to me. Come on, go in there. Okay. Now, yep, that fits. That fits just right, right? I can get like the tip of my finger underneath. There's a little bit of room. And because this is curved, right, you don't want it to sit flat. The electric caliper, we have these on the site, and they are indispensable for sure, right? I know Alfie just needs a stick. He's been kind of grounded because lately, and I'm going to glue this while I tell the Alfred story. We'll get the zap. Make sure that that's cut across. Leave this closed.
He's trying so hard.
Yeah, he's trying so hard. He's been out as he's gathering sticks. He's also eating a few things that he shouldn't eat. So it hasn't been good for his digestion. So he's grounded for a while. Because everything is super lush and green right now out there because of the rain and stuff. So Chris has been taking him out when he can be supervised. But yeah, he's a little miffed. So he's walking around going, I know, he was all Mama, I'm packing my stuff and I'm running away.
He's got his little bandana.
His little bandana on a stick. He's all, I'm out of here. No, we had our solar inspected, which was really exciting. But yeah, he was all, I'm going out with the solar guys. Chris is all, where's Alfred? I'm like, I don't know. He's probably now an employee of the solar company. But we found him. He was sitting by the front door. That's what he gets. That's what happens. But he's fine. He would never leave his food source. I'm going to cut away there's a little bit of this stitching that didn't quite make it underneath. You know, I'm going to use the thread burner, I think. It's hard to see because it's black. It didn't quite make it, so I'm just going to burn it away so it doesn't get... Yeah, my mom wants to know if Alfred's coming to Grandma's house.
Yeah, that's where he's taking his pack.
Yeah. He's going. I know, someone needs to. I know, he needs to go out and get a stick for his bandana.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We need to take one for the team and go select some sticks just for him to peruse. I know, this cat is ridiculous. And if you folks haven't followed my social, I do post the sticks that Alfred brings in. It's just crazy. All right, enough about Sir Alfred. So here it is, just this simple, really great with the clasp in antique brass, the gray stitched, and one of these surrounded. You could make a whole stack of these. You could also just make like some plain ones of these and just stack them up so you don't have to wrap them and wrap them. They can just be single wraps. This would look great with just a single one of the natural, or you could use, you know, like two. Janice loves this book of Kells. You could put two in side by side and just make it plain if you wanted, right? So there's a whole myriad of stuff you can do with this. So I'm going to set this aside, let it all cure, and then I'll put it on a little bit later. All right. Let's take a look at the prairies that I have sitting here. And remember how Janice and I were talking about doing the 8/0 over the top of the prairies here. So this is one of the prairie projects that we did with this really cool like half circle closure. And this is all with the Ceylon, regular Ceylon. And this is just the single macrame stitch. So the way you could start this is you could just start, right, the macrame. And then when you finish, you could use one of these sliders like we've got here and glue the ends of your Ceylon right here. Okay? Right? We should peyote stitch one of Alfred's sticks, right?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun.
It would be fun. But I love the way that this kind of tunnel, how that looks over the top of this 5mm. Okay. Here's one, another kind of plainish one. I think this is the one that was in the photo. Let me unclasp it. Let me see if I can find the clasp. Needs a little bit of a polish. Here's the clasp. Again, this was on a 5mm. This is our 5mm dots clasp. And see how we just started it. We just started, did the macrame, did the 8/0, and we just kept going. These aren't even glued down. These are just sliding across there, like so. Okay, and you can get, if these tarnish, like this one is a little tarnished, I've got the Pro Polish pad here. Let's polish these up just a bit. There we go, because they're silver plate, so the silver ones will tarnish just a touch, but a little touch of that Pro Polish pad, and look at that. And we carry these Pro Polish pads here. If you don't have them, you need them in your jewelry bin. This one is just glued. There's no ending or beginning of it here. And we've got the 8/0 in a 323 pattern. And here we've got a smaller one. So we just keep, keep going with the macrame. And again, these aren't glued down. So this just looks like so. Let me wind it up here. And there we go. There we have it. All right. So it winds like this. So instead of using a multiple closure like this, like here's the one that Janice did when we did the surrounded one. This one here, right? She used a double strand and did this. Okay. Then I've got a couple more here that I wanted to share with you. And then I want to show you how I'd go about laying things out and some skill builders for it. Let me see. This is one, it's a little different. It's one, I did this a while back. This uses the 5mm rounded end. And it has some things that we no longer carry, like this braided. I don't think we have this braided any longer, but we'll have some other fun things there. This one is strung. This I strung on Softflex here, and I just connected it to this clasp. This is the Clio clasp here. So we've got the Fleur de Paris, this really great looking flat leather. And we've got this little lentil chain, which again, I don't think it was available any longer. But you could use any chain for that. So see how this connects? Flat leather, a strand that's strung, the lentil chain, the braided, but this could be like even, any of our new ones, our old pattern ones. Another one here of the chain and the strung, and then ending it up on the end with the 5mm. Okay. So it's a fun bracelet. This flat leather, I think, really looks great. I love it how Miranda, everybody's saying they're gonna go out, wire wrap some beads on a stick, and do that. Is there an emergency thing happening? Oh, it's an Amber Alert. Okay. I have mine on Do Not Disturb, so hopefully we're good. So let me show you how I might start to design. Okay, let me pull everything back a little bit. We still have some time. So let me pull this back. That's kind of crooked. Let me fix my phone. There we go. Or my top camera, but my top camera is my phone. There we go. All right. So I'm going to use this blue Arizona leather because I love it. Okay. Now we need to decide okay, how many wraps this is going to be. How much, what clasp would you use? Would you use 4 all the way across like a 20mm? Would you use a 10mm like the Book of Kells going across this way? Right? You don't have to make that decision now. Maybe just have a vague idea of what you're going to do. I think, you know what I think I'm going to do? Miranda, may I have another, what was that called? Special delivery? Let me see which one I want.
Same color?
I'm not sure. Hang on.
I think they're nice.
Let me see. Special delivery.
5mm.
Yeah, we've got it in brass. We've got it in silver. We have it in copper. Yeah, copper is probably coming. I don't know. Maybe dots. 5mm dots. What do we have in those? I don't know. I'm looking.
Brass, silver, antique silver, copper.
Let me do the antique silver, please. Flat dots. Oh no, that's 10. Do we have it in 5? Let me show you that. Okay, perfect. And we don't need to glue it on at this moment. We just need to figure it out, right? Like what I might want to use. So I'm just gonna, like, here's the dots. Look at how great the dots look with this dot, right? So nice. Okay. It was a cute little bee bead. Look at how cute this little bee one is. So maybe we'll work with that one too. I don't know. So I'm just going to start with like, okay, maybe this will just be single. Okay. So I'm going to attach it here to the board. I can put a little piece of fabric or something over the top, but what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to clip it there. And I'm going to go to this side and I'm going to clip it over here. Okay. Like that. Now, what I have is I grabbed some bugles. I grabbed some of these Checkmates tiles. I grabbed that 8-501, that avocado. Let me get a little tighter. Everyone, that's so funny. Everyone is super obsessed by Alfie sticks.
I think when we
Add an Alfie stick fund.
you know, when we do the secret project that no one knows about yet, we should use that as the base.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That would actually be really cute.
Yeah, it's true. We do have a fun project that we're thinking about. It is true. I got the Ceylon in cerulean, and I got some 4mm CKC. Okay, so I'm just going to start over here. And I'm going to give myself about a little more than a yard. And I'm going to cut this off. Now this is 4mm that I've got going on here. Okay. Or not 4mm, apologies. 0.4. Okay, the smallest one. You could use any size. But what I want to do, I'm just going to do some macrame. Okay, I'm just making this up. Macrame. I'm going to start it up. Do a few plain. This is the 0.4 in tree bark. It has a little bit of a green cast to it. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just doing the flat macrame. Knotting to the right, then knotting to the left. We've got great skill builders on how to do this flat macrame. This really is a bead shop staple for sure. Okay. So how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did about a total of 10 knots there. Okay. Now I'm going to get my moss right here. And let me pull out a few of those. And I'm going to string on one side 1, 2, let me really cut this nicely so it's not raggedy. There we go. Gave that a little bit of an angle cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do kind of a double knot, or I could tie it. Maybe I'll tie a bead on the end because I need a stopper. Okay. So the beads don't fall off. So that's on the left-hand side. There's 5, right? Let me do 5 over here. Oh, I know what I could use. I could use a 5mm. Maybe I'll use one of those. The 5mm rounded end. I don't know. I don't need to decide yet. That's for 15 minutes from me now. Right? That's not for me right now. Okay. There's that. And then let me tie on this stopper. Okay. That's what I should do. I should find one of Alfie's sticks and I should cast it. Right? So it's a stick charm.
Just like a tiny little one?
A tiny little stick charm. Would be cute. Let's see. Let me get this focused. There we go. One of our fiber friends, who's in our fiber guild, we went to a fashion show over in Stockton, and our friend Carolyn said, I'm bringing something for Alfred. And she has just an amazing sense of style. And she made a little box, and in it, she picked the most exquisite stick. It looked like it was from a live oak or something. And it was in a box. And when I came home and I presented it to this crazy cat, he was extremely solemn and very reverent with his stick. And I texted Carolyn, and she was like, oh my gosh, she couldn't believe it. It was so funny. It's on my socials. It's on my Facebook. You can see it. You got to scroll down a bit, but it's there. He was so he still has it. It's in a box. It says for Alfred. It's a stick we will never get rid of. It's very beautiful. So see here, I dropped down those 8 dots. Then I did a series of 6 flat knots. And can you see how this CKC, Chinese knotting cord, in the 4mm, it has a different look than the Ceylon. See, here's the Ceylon. And in the Ceylon, the stitch might be a little more defined. I don't know. It just has a little bit of a different look. I love how this Chinese knotting cord just has a really nice, sleek feel to it, right? I like it. So let me get back to this. I'm going to slide this on, and we're going to knot again. So see, I get these 2 down. I go underneath and tighten. And now, since these both went, now I'm just going to go back and forth those 6 times. And you can put this as close or as far, the beads, as you want. And see how when the 2 beads are next to each other like this, you get a really great pop of color that way. Okay. Like this. And let me do, I think I need to do one more. Okay. Now I'll take two more, slide them down. This color is the 8-501, which is right here. It's the avocado. It was from, I think, the Aunt Constance mix that I did for the January mix. And folks, Miranda has finished the February mix.
Exciting.
It is so exciting. You're going to love it. You're going to see that drop on the first. We'll tell you the name. It's called Molly. And it's darling.
It's soup cute.
Soup cute. Exactly. So see, even just doing this, look at, and Cherie, thank you. I mean, it does look good, right? It's just simple. It's plain, not plain, but it's kind of classic. Oh, Nancy, thank you. I love the Aunt Constance mix too. Thank you. Thank you. And Robin, you can use a thread burner on the CKC, and I'm going to show you because it is a, it's like a synthetic. Thank you.
And also, it's like the best to melt. Like,
yeah, it is the best melt because
it shrinks down.
In your macrame experience, Miranda, did you use something like this when you macrame?
No, I always used hemp.
Hemp,
and
right.
That does not
shrink down.
But you can seal it with beeswax.
Oh.
I've seen people do that.
Do that with the
hemp cord. Because it just burns.
Right. Right, because it's a natural fiber. So see here, I've got the, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5 of these. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad that you have 2 projects with the Aunt Constance ready to go, Terry. That's the best. So here we go. So there's that. And let's slide this last one down. Yeah, there's 6. And we'll slide this last one. Once you slide the beads down, it doesn't really matter which side you start from, honestly. Right? Now, the length of cord that I cut here is about a little over a yard, maybe. Right? I think that's what I did. Okay. This one is a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna finish it off. I'll show you how I finish it. So here's this, and here's that. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my zap. Now, if I were making this a long thing, whatever, right? I could slide a slider on, like, look at that. Look at how great that looks just right there. And it looks good asymmetrical. What I was thinking I was going to do was in the middle of this, I should have slid this on so it's there, but I didn't. I forgot. So this could slide on anywhere, right? But let me show you how, and then since it's slid on, you can glue the threads down, slide this on, glue it down, and the ends of the threads are hidden, okay? But what I'm going to do with this, with my last knot, I'm going to put a little bit of zap there, right where the thread is going to come in and knot, okay? Let me come in a little tighter. Can you see where that glue is? It's there and there. Now I'm going to tie my last knot. That glue's going to come down Seal that, and I'm going to give myself a little more glue there before I tighten it. Okay. So there and here. Miranda, you know what I need? I'll tell you what I need because you have no idea. I need some of the 5mm rounded ends.
I knew that's what you needed.
Yeah, and I need a small swivel, please.
Hello.
I don't know. How about antique brass? Let's make them match.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
How many?
1 clasp pieces, please, and 2 of the ends.
Small?
I think I want the small swivel. Don't I? Does that look better? Thanks.
Welcome.
I need to connect it with...
Do you need 2 pairs or just 2?
No, just 2 pieces. And then maybe the 5mm jump ring. I don't know if it's around here anywhere. I had some loose.
Just 5/18?
Yeah, just 2 pieces. So see how I'm getting rid of that extra glue right there, okay? And it's right there. So Sally, this is a great, it's a really great question. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Sally's asking, how do you decide where to put a stitch on a wrap bracelet? I want all the stitches on top of my wrist, but the final result can look crowded. You know, so what you can do with this is you can just make everything a single, right? So here's this. This would be a single. I could make this a single wrap so it's just there, right? What you could also do is you could cut a strip of paper and kind of wrap it around your wrist, like a piece of printer paper. Let me get that. This is a good one. I need to stand up anyway. Let me get that printer paper. And let me cut a strip. This is 8.5 by 11. So this is 11 inches right there. So let me cut a strip of this. Okay. So we're here, and I'm going to cut it kind of skinny. All right. So now this will be my template. And I'll come in. This will at least help you kind of know. And you can make a bunch of these strips, right? So however long it is, let me cut one more strip. Make a pattern. Let me get some tape. I'll tape this together. Okay. Tape it. And tape it. Okay. So let's tape this together. Like so. And like so. So now this is about 22 inches. Okay. So let me wrap this around my wrist. And I feel like I'm in the hospital ward. Hang on.
You're taking a grippy sock vacation?
Right? That's awesome. A grippy sock vacation. I'm so in.
You know, that does sound pretty good.
Yeah, let's just do it. Can't we go, though? Can't it be like a beauty spa instead?
Yeah, that's
where we eat like really cute tiny meals that they make for
really
us.
Cute tiny foods.
tiny
Little
foods.
cucumber sandwich.
Yeah, and then we have to sneak in snacks.
Yeah.
So,
Come on.
because come on. So let's say that this was going to be a 3 wrap. Okay. And this is going to be my clasp. Let me get my Sharpie. Okay. So this is the clasp, and I'll cut it right between that. That's the clasp right there. Okay. So let's say that we want some macrame here. This is my little symbol for macrame. Right here. Maybe I want a slider here. That's a slider. Maybe I want some macrame here. Maybe I want some macrame here. And maybe I want some macrame here. Okay. So this one just has one slider. Maybe there's a slider over here. I'll call that a slider. And I'll put a slider over here. Okay. So here's my mock-up. Now, there's my clasp. So let's cut it and lay it out and see what it looks like, shall we? So if I fold this in half, in the center of all of this is where I had, and it might have been not lined up like 1, 2, 3, right? So in the center, here was some macrame with sliders. Here's just some plain macrame, but I could switch this, have plain macrame here and have this macrame with sliders here. But I want these sliders to be kind of in the middle, right? I don't want them to be near the clasp. So that's where that went. And then over here, there's a slider over here. So let me lay this out and let's measure. She said as she looks for her. But does this make sense to you, right? So we're just making a little pattern. It doesn't have to be super fancy, right? So at about 2.5 inches in or so, maybe 2 3/4, you do this section, and that's about a 2-inch section-ish, right? Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 inches. And then you do about 3 inches here. Okay. Then you go about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 3/4 more. And then you do it maybe about 3 inches there. And then you've got 2 inches at the end. And again, it comes right in at about 21 inches. Now, remember, your mileage may vary with your wrist size, right? And the thickness of your leather, because your leather isn't as thin as this paper, right? So when you wrap something that's a little bit thicker, it's going to take a little more length to make up for the width of this, okay? But making this template as long as you want it, get it, then get someone to help you wrap it around your wrist and tape it, and then just draw on it. This is no Van Gogh drawing on here. But then when you cut it at the clasp, you've got a template ready to go for you. Okay. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you folks are. It is true. I mean, we make, I make some patterns. You make patterns, right? It's not hard. So see, now we're just going to come in. We're going to bring it around. We know that the clasp connects here. And we can also kind of take a look and see if you want all of your things to add up kind of on the top. They're all going to add up on the top, something like this. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. I think it's pretty good, right? So now let's translate that to what I've got going on right here. So if this is the end, this is a little further down that I'd want it to go to the top. So I would just keep going and I would go to about here. Okay. Now what I would do here is I'll come in, I'll leave some space. I'm not going to even measure it. I'll come in and I'll do a little section over here, right? I'll leave some empty. I'll come in, I'll do this final little section, and that will be my clasp. So let me measure this out, this length, and see what I've got here. Just to see. Trust the process, right? And you've got a little bit extra here, like you can give yourself a little bit extra, because also remember this has to glue into your clasp. So maybe I would start your measuring, maybe I'd give yourself about a ½ inch to play with here, right? And then maybe, or even an inch, because you could always cut it away, right? But you could do the same thing on this side too. But let's see where this measures out. Yeah, it comes in at exactly 21. Plus your clasp is going to give you a little bit of length too, right? Like this clasp, as far as it goes in, right here, right? Remember, it gives you about that much. We ascertained that that's about 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters equals about 1/4 inch or so. So it's going to take away about ½ inch of length. And this clasp is just about 7/8 inch. So this is going to add, if we round it, this clasp is going to add about ½ inch of length, if that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, so that's how we would do it. So next, what I would do, and if I don't want them to line up exactly, but let's see what this looks like with the paper. Let's go with our little paper template. Let's lay it out. If this is our end, right, and we know I need a little bit of extra there, I'm going to come in like this. Doesn't have to be a slide. I mean, see, so this might be a place where I put the slider in, right? If I'm going to repeat this down, let's say then I also need to add thread here and do another section of the slider right here. So let's add it. I'm going a little bit long, but I want to show you how to do that. And then we can pick this back up on Friday. So here's this. I've glued this down. Okay. So I could just come in. I'm going to thread burn one side. Okay. And then we'll glue this down on the slider on the other side. Okay. But you could use either or. So let me take off this bead. Let me put this through. Let me come in, slide it in, position everything. You see it underneath there? Position it. I don't know if that helps or not. Press the button and pull it through. Okay. Now you could do a little bit of push the button on the thread burner and tap it down and push it in. That's on there. That's not going in there. Now, let's say though that we wanted this slider. Where's that tiger eye slider? No, that's the lapis. Here it is. What I would do, and for the flat leather, it comes by the meter. Or no, I'm sorry, by the yard. By the meter.
Where are you?
Where am I? I'm in Europe. comes by the yard. So if you wanted, you could buy a yard, you'd use 21 inches and you'd have 31, you'd have about 17 inches left for something. So I might buy with strap leather, I might have 2 yards because then you'd have like 2 workable pieces instead of one long piece and then a shorter one. Though you could use the shorter one to just make 2 single wraps like this. You could. Okay, but just decide how you want to use the leftovers. You don't want to waste any of this flat leather because it's not, you know, I mean, it's not super expensive, but, you know, we don't want to waste it. You could also make a short little segment, like if you had a short little segment, you could put it in the rounded crimp ends like this and just add that to a wrap bracelet too. Okay, so here comes this slider. I'm going to take off this. I can cut it. I don't need to worry about it. I'm going to kind of hold this here because these are kind of tight on it. I'm going to hold it there. This is another way you could do it, right? Hold it in, add a dot. No, don't come out. Come on. Slide it on over. There it goes. There it goes. Now, on the reverse, see, and again, this is glued. I could thread burn it, no problem. And I always do my gluing on my sliders on the reverse, okay? I'll dot that up. Just a dot. Then I'll slide everything down. Sorry, my hand's covering it, but. And that glue will just slide in there. The glue will catch that end piece, or you could kind of pull it over to make sure it catches that end, you know, that end that it's glued in. There's just a touch of extra glue here that I'm going to get rid of. Maybe add it right there. And I'll come in and I'll just thread burn this for fun. Like so. And burn it away. Come on. Oh, maybe if I push the button. There we go. Okay. So now, if I am working with my template, you can see that this slider, it's a little, it's not quite, but I don't know that I'd want them to line up exactly anyway, right? But this is for if you want them to line up on the front. If you want it to line up all around your wrist, just draw on your template where you want this to be, okay? And Emily, what you say here is totally true. One of the things Emily's saying that she likes about the wraps is you can do them in bites, right? And 100%, it's great if the plans change. I was just going to make this into a single, but I think what I'll do, let me look at our calendar. I don't think I've got anything scheduled for Free Tip Friday on Friday. If I don't, then we're going to continue on with this on Friday. Bear with me here just a second. I have to look at the promo calendar. Friday, yep, Free Tip Friday, the 31st. That's what we're going to do, okay? So we're going to finish this up and I'll make the decision. I think I'm just going to do a single strand clasp on this. And this will be a really nice stacker with this one. So let's put this one on. Everything's all nice and dry now. So we're here. Okay. So next, so we know what we're going to do with this one. Okay. So what I could do if I wanted was, you know, I could come back to that. I'm going to go to this one over here, this section. I pulled this cerulean, which I love. And maybe I'll put a slider here and here. Maybe I'll use a B and a B. What do you think about that? Where did the B's go? Don't know. I could use a B. I could use this big Greek slider, the Greek key. That would look great. Maybe that's what I'll use. Maybe I'll use that. The B, though, would also look really charming. I could just throw the B in wherever, right? Like I could just throw like a little secret B, right? So maybe I'll do that with some of this. And I want to put, I was thinking about using some of these guys, but maybe I just want a single color and maybe it'll unify the color and I'll just keep using this green. Maybe that's the right thing, right? Then we've got this very last one. So maybe I'll just macrame, macrame, macrame. And that's where I could put this nice infinity one. That would look nice there. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end. We'll see what happens on Friday. Okay. So, my friends, I think that's it. Look at how great that looked there. And let's wrap this first one. See, that would look great just as a single. Look, you don't have to do multiples with that, but look at how nice that looks. And I really like how this kind of tree bark and this blue look really nice. And I think that a single section of this cerulean would pull this in nicely. But yeah, I think this looks good. And it stacks really nicely. I know a lot of you wear your Apple Watch, your smartwatch. I think I have different bands, but I think it looks nice with this, right? Just a skinny one stacks nicely so you can wear a bracelet with it. Okay. So my friends, that's it. Grab your supplies. I'm going to go ahead and do a shop the show or something on the homepage so you can see what I use. But essentially, grab any of the flat leather you like, any of the sliders you like, and any 8/0 you like, any 0.4 millimeter Chinese knotting, and any regular Ceylon. That's it. And then a clasp. Decide if you want it to be 10 millimeter or you want it to be 5 millimeter. Okay, that's it. That's all she wrote. You know where to find us. Any questions? Shoot us an email over at info@beadshop.com. Let me go ahead and put that up. There it is there. Follow us on all of our socials. You know where we are. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all Friday. It was fun. It was a creative session. It was fun. Good times. So thank you, my friends, for all of your support that you give us, because without you folks out there, as you know, we couldn't do what we love, which is spread through creativity through beads. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you on Friday. Bye, all.